Welcome to the dressing room. Cast of Dressing Room Diaries, this is your call to stage. You have 5 minutes. Dressing Room Diaries.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Dressing Room Diaries.
A podcast for the delusional, the dramatic, the depressed, the diarists, not diarrheists. Although, look, I am gluten intolerant and the anxiety belly before auditions is kind of real.
This is the type of oversharing that you signed up for.
We're actors, creatives, survivors of weekly breakdowns and very questionable self-tapes.
And we started this podcast to talk about what it's like growing up in the industry from inside the dressing room. Today's a really special episode. We have an incredible guest joining us.
We're about to kiki, laugh, and dive deep into some industry tea with an actress whose career spans over 3 decades. I mean, that's crazy. From Mama Lena Younger in A Raisin in the Sun to Beatrice Effiong in Netflix's Sex Education to sassy Miss Candace in BBC's adaptation of Mr. Loverman, she has graced both stage and screen with unforgettable performances and a powerful presence. Doreene is a powerhouse. She's a brilliant talent, and we are so very lucky to have her on the podcast today. So get ready for some joyful news, some inspiring stories, and something a little wild.
I think she should be here by now.
Oh,
Doreene?
Are you lot all off book? Because I'm not. Not yet anyway.
Ooh, okay.
So, Doreene, I know you're leading us with our story, our anecdote today. So my question for you that will lead into said wonderful anecdote is, what challenges have you faced or do you face that you feel younger generations should be prepared for?
Ladies, you need to be prepared for the menopause.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's coming. And that's a certainty.
Oh no.
Yeah. You need to be prepared for that.
Tell us a bit more.
You need to be prepared for what it does to your brain, what it does to your body, what it does to your relationships, what it does to your moods, what it does to your emotions, how it hijacks every aspect of your body, mind, heart, and soul.
That sounds like it's going to be very difficult while trying to do the job too. Like that sounds...
It is. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's now on the agenda, which is really important. It's not any other business. It's just like high up there.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I would say women can talk about it openly without feeling ridiculed, embarrassed, or ashamed.
Yeah.
Because it is a natural process.
Yeah.
But we have spent years, decades, a lifetime of hiding the most intimate things that affect us as women.
Yeah.
And menopause is just a transition. It's a transition from this woman that is led by her ovaries and is luscious. You're going to be luscious anyway. But you know, things start to dry up.
Damn! When you say things, what are you talking about?
Well, we're not going to go too... It's like nothing you've ever... No, because you haven't, you know, you just realize, actually, you could go into a room and normally you would see certain people and, you know, you've had certain smells and, you know, erogenous zones would be just fired up, bing, 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 bing. And then you realize that it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like a limp lettuce. It's just like everything is switched off. You're just like, I'm sorry, what's going on? Because like normally I'd walk into a room and I'm feeling all that. And they look all that.
Yeah.
And then you walk into a room, it's just like, I'm sorry, I didn't notice. I noticed the window. I noticed that I'm hot.
Yeah.
I noticed that I'm frustrated and I'm moody. And if that human being with that stupid squeaky voice speaks one more time, I think I'm going to throttle them.
Oh,
That's what kind of happens to you.
yeah.
Extraordinarily, not a lot of people know this, but there is a part of the brain, female brain,
Right.
that switches off during menopause. And it's the part of the brain that makes you maternal.
Oh.
So that's why the majority, well, it's a theory that the majority of divorces are instigated by women during that time. Because that part of the brain is just sort of like, I don't have to look after you.
You don't have to deal with this.
The fledglings have gone. They've flown the nest. So it's just you one.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I think actually I might go on a trip.
I love that. I love that.
Exactly. Finding that freedom.
Yes.
And in terms of that freedom and then that connection, reconnecting to self.
Yeah.
How do you think that has now, that menopause has informed your creative practice, that change?
That's really good. First and foremost, it's about owning that you're going through the menopause. You've got to be realistic about it.
Right.
You've got to understand that something fundamental is happening within your body and it's normal and it's okay.
Yeah.
You've got to give it voice. If you don't, actually the body will force you to do it.
Okay.
Because it's so it's life-changing. Like, for instance, you'll be watching a movie and things like that, or listening to people, and suddenly you just get really emotional and you can't explain it. Everything, it's like your nerve ends are all over your body, like fine hairs. So, you find yourself just crying out for no reason, forgetting things. It's just like, why is the sugar in the fridge? I don't remember putting it there. You get scared because you especially in this season of Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff, it's like, am I losing my mind? And you're not. You're just, going through this process.
That sounds kind of traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's quite scary.
Do it can be traumatizing, but also you can, I think now, because we were scared off, back, I think it was the 80s, when there was a lot of talk about the dangers of HRT.
Right. Can you tell us what that is?
Yes, like, its connection to breast cancer.
Got you.
And other various cancers as well, ovarian cancer, etc. But I think it's mostly breast cancer.
Okay.
And that was dispelled because the group of women that they did the tests with, it wasn't broad enough to really get a true reflection of all types of women.
Yeah.
So we were denied HRT, hormone replacement treatment, which is estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone as well.
Right.
In some cases, because testosterone is very important for women. So a lot of women, myself included, even though I was getting really debilitating hot flushes, I would be on stage. And I remember being at the RSC, I was on stage, and one actor looked over to me because all you could hear was drip, drip, drip. I was in this huge, heavy costume, and I was having a hot flush, and it was dripping from my chin onto stage. I couldn't do anything about it. I just had to surrender to it.
Yeah.
I stood on stage, and I was just like, oh my God. And it's awful. You feel awful. People feel helpless. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking HRT because I was terrified of all the scare stories and everything like that. It wasn't until I actually did my own investigative work, and talking to other Black women, women of color, who were saying, no, girl, come on, I'm on HRT. Why are you not on it?
Yeah.
So, you go to your doctors and you talk about it, and some doctors are really open to you being on it, and some are not. But the majority of women that I've spoken to, female doctors, I have been blessed.
Oh, wow.
They have been really supportive.
Yeah.
I'm on it. It makes 100% different to your quality of life.
Wow. Okay.
Your quality of life. You can sleep better. It disturbs your sleep. you're kind of like cautious about journeys. Actually, it was a big thing. Like, can I go on the tube? I couldn't go on the tube for a very long time. I used to walk everywhere because you get on the tube with other people, and that proximity would just make you flush, and you would just get into a hot flush.
Yeah.
I had challenges with my hair. I still do. You know, I lost over 50% of it. So, you know, things happen to your body that HRT can help. It doesn't correct everything, but it certainly takes that edge off. And for some women, it completely removes hot flushes. Like I can be in the studio today.
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah, it's warm in here. But I can manage it, whereas before I couldn't manage it. I wouldn't have been able to do it, or I'd have to have fans all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, so HRT, exercise, you know, toning down alcohol. I like me a drink.
What's your drink of choice?
It's always red wine.
I'm a red wine girl.
I love red wine. Yeah.
And just one for, you know, just to take the edge off.
Just take the edge off. Or when I'm feeling really spoiled or I've achieved something really big, like a glass of champagne. Just a little bit of champagne.
So you know, taking your time away from that. What does that look like now?
And I'm taking my time away from
just being like, I have to choose now whether or not to drink or something, to have a drink.
Do you know? Right, that's a great question, because I think it becomes a habit. If you get into the habit of doing difficult things, really hard things, then actually saying no to alcohol comes easy. And because it's funny, because the majority of your friends, if you're with a tribe of people who like to drink, it's very difficult to then turn up and say, hey, I'm not going to partake today. Because everyone's just like, oh, just have one. Oh, why not? Oh, God, it's a holiday. It's my birthday. It's a special occasion. Just have one. And if you lean into that temptation, it's just like, it takes quite a lot to say, thank you, but no thanks. It just comes with practice.
And do you think that menopause has, and this journey of menopause and your body changing has given you a strong lesson into how to love yourself with discipline, like to love yourself radically?
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does, because it impacts your quality of life. It really does. So the things that you don't want to do, like take the stairs, you know, that's going to help with distress. You know, you can get quite depressed during the menopause because all, you know, your hormones are shifting and they're in, you know, they're out of sync, they're out of balance. If you do more exercise, if you hydrate well, and number one, I should have mentioned it, sleep. Sleep is so important, and you're robbed of it during the first couple of years when menopause is, because you get night sweats, you know, so your sleep gets quite disturbed. So if you get into the habit of going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time, that helps, you know. Exercise is crucial.
So how do you manage, because we've spoken about this a little bit before, with obviously theatre and especially screen, if you're doing night shoots, sex ed, you're doing, you know, it's how do you manage rest and how do you prioritize that? Especially in the context of looking after your body during the journey of menopause whilst on a film set.
And that's great. That's really good. I think you have to tell people that you're going through it. I think that's what you have to do. You don't have to suffer in silence. You know, now we can have that dialogue, which is great. But before, you wouldn't mention it because it ages you as a woman. Men also go through their own kind of like midlife crisis. But women, it ages us instantly. So we keep it quiet. But now I just think, hey, listen, it's a part of life. I'm going through the menopause. And it's beautiful because on sex education, Shooty was so amazing. Literally everywhere where, you know, you could reach with a hand, there was a fan there. And he could tell when I was getting hot, you know, and then as soon as it was like, cut, are you getting hot? Yes. And he would get a fan, they would get a fan, you know, there were fans all over the place. And so that was great. You're accommodated for, but you have got to speak up. You know, when I was on Mr. Loverman, same thing, you know, we were all middle-aged women, you know, so we were all in the same boat, and that helps, you know. So there were fans everywhere, and those breaks because you could be in the middle of a shoot, literal in the middle of a scene, crucial one, and emotions also fires up. It makes you warm anyway. So you'd be in the middle of a scene, and I would literally be in the middle of an emotional scene, and I could just feel the back of my neck prickly. I just, oh my God, it's coming, it's coming. And then I'm so sorry, I have to stop. I have to stop. So you have to tell people that this is what's happening to me, so that it doesn't come out of the way. And if you're around people that, you know, it's an inconvenience, that's on them. That's on them. Period. You know, and don't apologize for it.
I mean, just listening to you say, look, I had you stop, like, and telling people I need to stop it, was scared to speak up in those moments. You're thinking, this clockwork or this villager that's working around us while we're working, haven't got time for us for that. So it's really important that.
And I think especially then on top of that as a Black woman, like being afraid to be perceived as difficult in this work environment. Or a diva, you know. So it's hard to then to advocate for yourself in that way. So I'm
and that's really good, you know. And it comes back to your question about self-care. Self-care, you have to take care of yourself. You know, it doesn't matter how it lands with other people. You're not responsible for how other people, you know, receive your truth. You're not responsible for it, but you are responsible for speaking about self. This is affecting me. This is how it's going to affect me. This is how it's going to impact you. Can you accommodate, you know, make allowances for it, accommodate me? It's nothing special, you know, because if I turned up on set prior to that and I tell you that, you know, I'm neurodivergent, I have dyslexia, dyspraxia, I could say that easily and it will be accommodated for. But if I'm saying something like I'm a menopause, you know, I'm a woman and I'll go through the menopause, before that, be just like, oh God, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? And your own shame would come to the surface. She's like, no. I have nothing to be ashamed about. This is a process. This is on the table.
And in many ways, like, exactly. And in many ways, like, you advocating for yourself in that way also advocates for your wider community. So in Mr. Loveman, you just mentioned previously that, like, you're all similar ages. You're all going through it. Do you think that changed your experience filming in any way? Like being on a set with women that are all going through, you know, a similar journey.
Yes, it make you feel comfortable. You feel safe, you know, to be yourself, and you feel accommodated for. That's the main thing, you know. And when you feel those major components, then actually you're a better performer. Do you know what I mean? You can just drop the guard of fear and just go in there confidently and just go, this is how I'm going to rock up. Do you know? And it's fine. So yeah, it makes the acting experience a lot more better.
So, Doreene, we have some questions for you. These are a mix of things that we've written for ourselves and that also people have sent in.
Oh my goodness.
People want to pick your brain. You know what's up. Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yes. Which roles taught you the most about yourself?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. I think definitely Lena Younger taught me that actually I can carry a heavyweight role. And it taught me that I can own actually my title as actor. I know that sounds weird, but that taught me a great deal. That I could do an accent, you know, sustainably, that I can carry all that emotion and also at the same time be there for my fellow actors that are on the stage.
Oh, it was such a gorgeous performance.
Thank
I
you.
must say, for the full cast also, one of my favourite plays.
Thank you.
Looking back, what were the most pivotal moments in your career?
It has to be Lena. Lena was pivotal. Also, I played a role, Patricia, in Foxes, a mother. And I think that all of the mothers that I have played recently to young people, young men who are going through substantial angst have all taught me something.
Wow.
Life imitating art, etc. You know, that the things that you go through in life really do serve you as the actor. And being a mother to my wonderful son, and trying to navigate raising a Black young man from boy to man in this current environment, in this world, is such a challenge. And you don't know how that experience is going to play out in stage, in your work. But my God, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful because everything I learned about being a mother, I could bring to each of those characters, whether it's Eric in sex education, you know, my son in a raisin and foxes. I was able to bring all of that experience to the stage. So I am really grateful.
That's beautiful. I have a question, and it is, how has your definition of success evolved over time?
Oh, that's such a good question. Do you know, when I was younger, for me, it was about working with certain directors. It was about getting on certain TV shows and certain theatres. For me now, success is still being able to say I'm in the game. I'm still here, you know, 3 decades on, and I am still working. And that I can own that. I can own confidently my ability to be able to tell story. I know without hesitation that I was called here on this planet to do that. I know that. And I know that my firm belief is that stories call into themselves the actors who should be telling them. I believe it. So that's what I'm really chuffed about, that I'm still here at my tender age, I won't say what that age is, and still being invited to tell a story. That is a gift. That is a privilege, and that I'm eternally grateful for.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
My next question is, if you could tell your younger self one thing about this journey, what would it be?
Don't take yourself so seriously. Don't do that. And keep your mouth shut when you don't know who you are.
That's specific.
Because you know what? We all come out all gun blazing, and your ego is running the show the majority of the time. And it's not until somebody with a bigger ego or someone sees that ego, calls that out and says, you need to hush your mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. Forgive yourself for it, because you're young and you're meant to do all that. You're meant to be stupid. You're meant to be emotional. You're meant to take yourself far too seriously. You're meant to do all of that. So you can learn and grow. You know, and then when you get to the other side, you realize, oh my goodness, I know who I am. So I can talk less. In fact, sometimes I don't have to talk at all. I don't need anybody's approval. I approve of myself. I'm not in an egotistical, narcissistic way. I know who I am. You know, but when you don't know that, you talk a lot. You get jealous. You know, you're insecure. You know, your magical cloak that you wear is not that transparent. You know? Everybody can see that the emperor's got no clothes on. You need to keep your mouth shut. So that's what you learn. You learn, you know, that you just don't take yourself so seriously. It's all right. Forgive yourself often.
Forgive yourself often.
That's really, I have one. It's just juicy, just for us. Have you ever fallen in love during a job?
Oh my goodness, have I ever fallen in love during a job? Oh my God.
We have to take it there.
Let me see. Have I done that? Because I should be able to say yes straight away. But I don't think I have, because I was in a long-term relationship for 18 years. And that love actually made it quite safe for me to be on set with other people. Do you know what I mean? Because I was, you know, committed to that relationship. But have I, God, I have worked with some actors recently that I have gone, sweet God. And it's the talent that I'm attracted to.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Or their intelligence or the way that they kind of like raise the stakes on stage and just like,
like on an artistic level.
Oh my goodness. There's nothing more sexual for me. It's just like, well, look at you. Look at you. Showing up. Dropping that line like that.
Doing that. Dropping that line. Dropping it like it's hot.
Yeah. You did the work. You make me sweat out here. And I love that. I love that. I love going to work. And you're with talented people that make you raise your game.
I love that.
That's very special. And that's sexy.
That's good. And if love meant different things as well, in terms of like, I mean, you guys formed a beautiful connection. Like falling in love in that way. Have you ever fallen in love with that? Just...
Yeah. And I think that comes out of kindness and generosity. You know, when you're working with actors and creatives who are just, just kind. Do you know what I mean? They're gentle with each other, with themselves and with each other, and they're supportive. It makes a huge difference. You fall in love with that. You fall in love with the fact that, you've been given an opportunity to go to work, to be in a space with other people who are fun to be with. There's nothing worse than going to work and their personalities there that are not secure in themselves and then project that onto other people, or we're tippy-toeing around them, or we're scared to approach or say something in case, oh my God, they fall apart or something. Those environments are not safe for them and for everybody else. But falling in love is when you're with a director who really believes in the script, believes in the process, knows, although they're going to be asking actors to do very difficult things, they're good at the helm. Do you know what I mean? They're good at sort of navigating our vulnerabilities. They take care of us. So you, as the actors, the storyteller, the creators, you feel safe to fail.
Oh, yes. It's so much vulnerability.
So much vulnerability. You've got to you learn by failure. And if you're in a room where you're not allowed to fail, you're going to be scared. You're going to turn up scared. Everybody else is going to be scared. You're not going to bring your best to it. But if you turn up in a room where somebody their approach is bigger than them, it's not about them. It's about the story. We're there to serve the story. And they're passionate about that. That will filter down to everybody else. And you come in there with an absolute joy. That is love.
I love that.
And that's what I loved about Razor.
Oh my goodness.
It was just like, it felt like with all of us, there was an intense emotional honesty that we had. And Tineke definitely, Tineke Craig was our director, and she created that environment. And I think all of us wanting to show up for each other in that 100%. Way. Wow. And going through the seasons, like, got to a point where we were, we'd been working from like July, August to November. It's now cold and it's dark and it's windy, but genuinely, and it sounds kind of, foo-foo lame, but like the warmth of these people were keeping me warm in that November. Like, it was genuinely like, I felt so fulfilled and nourished inside and so loved, and I was excited to show up and like not just tell the story. I loved the story. I loved telling the story. But I was excited to show up and love everyone every day. Like that was true. Like I'd be in bed like giddy, like with my heated blanket in my theatre digs, being like, I get to see everybody. I can't wait. Like it's
so true. And a company that eats together, for me, stays together. Do you know what I mean? It was really nice that outside of the theatre that we all kind of come together. And also, if you're missing your loved ones, it's really nice, if you're with a company that want to come together and play games and eat, bowling and all of our little our little rituals, which we still do now.
Gorgeous.
And the tour has ended last year winter.
What? No.
We are close.
It's always been a year.
It translated so amazingly on stage. You could feel the chemistry on the love. There was a line I really wanted to talk to you about. One of your lines, you said, it was like, you were meant to be my harvest, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And that just stuck to me in the sense of like, I don't know, like I know in the, I don't know, the scene of it had its own reasoning, and you know, you were the frustration through that, but like how we can all be our own harvest and how we can all plant our own seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just that line itself was just such a beautiful line that stuck with me. And it was beautiful. Just the way you said everything, that I think it just translated how much you guys loved each other. And it was beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. It means a lot, because that is what you saw is the result of family. And I get a bit emotional about it, but it's true because Tina K and Sarita and everybody else who was there, we realized actually that doing Lorraine's play was such a privilege, and we understood our responsibility to it and how to be accountable for it. So we really did invest a lot of time into those characters. I mean, my girl here, Miss Academic, sitting right next to me, Miss Thing on the right here, like the detail that she went to. She had a Bible like this big of reference, you know, why Lorraine wrote this, when it was written, the context, and, you know, all of that that we could, you know, refer to, and our own detail and, you know, and background searching to play it right. And all of us collectively did that in our own special way. So I'm glad that that came across, because each line that we said none of it was casual. Not one. Oh my God, Lorraine wrote every line specifically for a reason. And we found that together as a family.
It's beautiful. I have one last question.
Yeah.
So I guess this is really helpful for people just starting out in their practice and like trying to hone that and ground themselves, especially before going on to set or going on stage. Do you have any rituals or practices that ground you before performing or in life?
Yeah. So my whole thing is that I'm about to start, because I'm about to go into my next big theatre gig.
Yes.
It's always about, for me, that once I get my lines, and I become that character, you literally can't touch me. And how I do that is I practice those lines. I do it in the morning. So maybe I'll go to the gym, and I'm notorious for getting up at 5 a.m. I do that, get myself centered, and then I go to the gym. But once I start learning my lines, and, you know, as you get older, it's going to be clunky. But once they're in there, and you keep practicing over and over and over until you become it, that there's nothing like it. It's magic. It is absolute magic. And that's my practice. So even when I'm up and running, right until the end, the last show, I always do my lines every morning. In fact, I can't, if I haven't done it, I can't function. It's very strange. You know, so in the warm-up, you'll see me doing it in the warm-up. I go over them. I have to go over them over and over. So, and when you do that, you find new things. You're always constantly finding new things, you know. Oh, I didn't know that about the character. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. Do you know what I mean? The deeper you delve into it, and those words are so powerful. My God. You know, it's, you know, biblical text, but the word really is mightier than the sword. It can do so many things. And if you do your homework and your practice, and you can be of service to the story to such a degree that you can impact the people watching it, how powerful is that? You know, and that for me comes with practice, just going over and over and over it until I become it.
Oh, stunning. Yeah, thank you. Definitely writing that in my notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Please tell us what you're up to next. Tell us more.
Oh my goodness. So we start rehearsals in a couple of weeks for my next gig that's going to be at the Almeida Theatre. It's called The Line of Beauty. And Michael Grandage is going to be directing. So it's going to be huge. And there's a lovely big cast, and it stars Jasper Talbot, who's currently in a show. I don't know it, actually. But it's on at the National right now, starring Rosamund Pike.
So Alia.
That's correct. That's exactly it. So, and I'm going to be working with Francesca. Yeah. And Alistair. I'm not going to embarrass myself and try and say their surnames. I'm not going to do that.
You talk about Caribbean, say African surnames.
I'm not going to do that.
So Francesca Rivers.
But I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. You know, it's written by Alan Hollinghurst. It's based on his novel. It's adapted by Jack Holland, and it's a story set during Thatcher's Britain. You know, that you know, Tory MPs and that middle class, upper class lifestyle that we were all subjected to, that Britain, on the backdrop also of AIDS as well, how that was impacting you know, the gay community. So yeah, there's a lot in it. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful adaptation. It's based on a great novel. And I'm really looking forward to it.
And what a strong cast. Like, real, like, just theatre performers, like theatre heavyweights. Everybody, you know, I mean, like Gilbert says, it's with fine brushes. Like, these are real, like, theatre actors. I love it. I'm excited. I'm so beyond excited.
Me too.
Can you talk about also in terms of up next, can you talk about what you're writing at the moment?
Right, yes. So I have just written a play that is generating a lot of interest, which is great. I'm really excited about it. I've got a couple of lovely actresses who are reading it at the moment. It's 5 women. It's called Behind God's Back. And it's about how it's older women. So, you know, for me, it's about putting older women's voices on the stage, older women's voices that you don't normally hear. You know, that need their moment. You know, they need to be seen, to be heard, to be known. It's about grief and how grief can really take a stronghold on you, and how it can become a lifestyle. And it does for one character, Merkel, who's lost her husband. And if you go into her house has become a shrine. She cannot see it. She sees, you know, walls of joy and happiness and memories. She doesn't see the tomb-like claustrophobia. She doesn't see what her daughter sees. Her daughter is a psychologist, a counselor, and of course has a different approach to how her mother should be mourning. So there's loads of clashes in that way. She lives next door to Vera. Vera is her best friend. Vera has a daughter who she's invited to come back to live at home after an acrimonious divorce. And her daughter blames her mum for her divorce and how the poor choices that she's made in her life. And Vera, and things are happening, and Vera has to, you know, keep that to her, very close to her chest. But everything comes out in the open. These women have to let go. All of them, all 5 of these women have to let go in order for them to move forward. And that's the journey. And it's called Behind God's Back because behind God's back conjures up an image of darkness, of secrets, and you know, of lies to oneself and to everybody else. And it just needs that to be reversed so light could be shed.
That sounds rich. That literally, and that sounds so exciting.
Thank you.
And it's a great script.
It's
a really great script.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Exciting.
It took me a while to write it. And I realized that it was my subconscious actually wanting its day in court with certain things that I'd gone through in my own life. I didn't realize that until afterwards, do you know what I mean? But that's it, you know, writers do write about what they know. They may not know that at the time, but then when you look back at it and other people give an opinion, you think, Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
That's interesting. That's so encouraging because I'm dyslexic as well, and I really struggle writing.
Right.
I like you say, we write what we know. There's so much story within every one of us, and it shouldn't stop us. So, yeah,
And
that was
got
a word
beautiful
for me.
mind, girl. Like you're really, and you're such a genius, and you're so thoughtful and empathetic that I want to hear. Like, what you know what I mean? Like, people need to hear what you have to say.
You got to write encouraging. So, thank you.
And there's various ways. There's different ways to write.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a firm believer because on the strength of this, in terms of workshops and Q&As, I realize that those of us who have survived something, you need to write about it or talk about it or paint it or express it in some way. But if you've gone through something, you survived it, I think if you can, you should be encouraged to speak it out so that other people can realize actually there is a way to navigate that, that you're going to be okay.
It's like the James Baldwin quote. I don't know it like really well, so I will kind of mash it up, but about how you read something from 100 years ago that Dostoevsky's written and you realize that you're not alone.
Yes.
And you have a shared humanity and community with everyone, with people that have died hundreds of years before you were born.
Yeah.
And that is what art is about. Like, it's about us feeling connected to ourselves and each other, realizing we're not alone. And putting these things somewhere. Like we've experienced such rich and complicated and beautiful lives, and I think it would be a disservice not only to ourselves and our legacy and like our ancestors' legacies to not share it, but it would be a disservice to other people who experience the service of realizing they're not alone in that. You know, so
that's for me one of the things with this play. I just want women to watch it and say, oh my God, that's me. That's me. I can identify with that because there's some really ugly bits in it, as you know, Joséphine will attest. And I didn't want to pull away from that. I just wanted women to be able to see it and go, I know that. That's happened to me, you know, and that human aspect, you know what I mean? Universal, but very specific. You know, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. If you have enjoyed, please like, comment, share, subscribe.
Thank you so much, Doreene, for coming on today, sharing your wisdom, laughing with us. It has been such a fabulous time, and I'm so, so grateful. But before we go,
I have notes. Unapologetically. Never be afraid to take up space on stage, in life. Be divinely, uniquely you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Dressing Room Diaries.